and I hope you don't mind, but if any of you are struggling, if any of you are perhaps needing some guidance, need some advice, you know, I'm going to offer it to Century 21 today. If anybody would like some coaching in their business and for their business, and I can do a group of 5, really inexpensive, and with John's permission, later I'll go into it. But think about like forming a group of 5 people, maybe on a team that are experiencing the same challenges in real estate, because a lot of people need coaching. I have a coach, and I have a coach from Anthony Robbins, and he makes me accountable for things in my business. And I have to tell you, my desk last year was a pile of trees, paper, a ton of paper on my desk. And literally, I never seen anything like it. It was like I built these piles all over my desk, and literally they were dripping. But anytime I passed by, I mean, that's how bad my brain was functioning without someone like a coach. So I happened to stumble upon my coach from Facebook, and when I went on Facebook and I saw him there, I said, wow, I said, this is a great guy. I said, maybe I need a coach. So I have to tell you, today, if you walk into my office, you can eat off my desk. That's how clean it is a year later, and how organized I've gotten. And also through the efforts of a coach, I was able to hire an assistant. To Michael over here, who's gracious to, set this all up, and to be more organized in your life, because the more you're organized up here, and you're able to function, and therefore customer service, when you're giving that customer service to someone, you're not worried about the things that you have to do. And as you're making money, it takes care of itself, believe it or not. Because that's the one thing I worry about, is how do I afford him? How do I afford this? How do I afford that? I have the same issues, I was telling some people before, I have the same issues as an agent, because I am an agent. I'm an agent, I'm equal in this room to you guys, because I'm thinking about the same fears, the same frustrations, the same challenges every day in real estate as you are. Because I have to worry about the same things. We're on a commission-based business, and we don't clock in. And I love that fact, that we don't clock in. John has been a broker, owner, agent, 35 years, me, 28 years. And when I tell people that I've been doing the same profession for 28 years, they go, oh, it's time to retire and get a pension. I'm like, what pension? This is real estate 101 here. There's no pension, But the fact that we don't have to clock in and clock out, we got it made over the people that are out there struggling or maybe wanting that kind of a life, or maybe they are trapped in that kind of a life. Think about it. And Dave Matthews, the famous singer, has a song called Ants Go Marching, right? And it's so true. They go marching to New York City every day. I see them getting on the LIRR, and I see them coming back. And it's like this. It's their world. 2 hours going and 2 hours coming. What kind of a life is that? And think about where we are right now, and the opportunity that we have to learn new technology. And you have a contest that's going to give you money here. I was like, I walked in and he's blowing up balloons, and I'm going, can I get in on this today? So you have a golden opportunity to challenge yourselves every single day. And by challenging yourselves every single day, you have that better experience and that better attitude toward your clientele. Nobody wants to hear from an agent who says, hi, I'm here to sell you a house, and puts their head down and has a frown on their face. They want somebody jovial, somebody with a sense of humor, somebody that has a heart, somebody that cares, somebody that knows their needs, their frustrations, their anger issues, maybe they're upset because they don't qualify. So we have this technology called RPR. And we have to start using some of the technology that's in front of our face, whether it's free or whether we have to invest in it. This happens to be a member benefit for you. And when we use this type of technology, this mobile app, right, we're not going to use it to its fullest potential. We're going to take a little piece of it and use it while we're on the road. And that's why we're here. So what you have to remember in RPR is that it can be used as a prospecting tool for both seller and buyer, this particular mobile app. Now, I want to preface this class by saying that you're not going to be on the same page during the class. Some of you are going to look down at your phones, and you're going to look down and you're going to say, okay, I'm not on that page. Don't worry about it. I just want you to follow with me the techniques and the different tools so that when you're out about in the field, you'll know how to use it. That's really what we want you to do. I want you to feel comfortable with it. This is not a one-time class, by the way, either. RPR is never a one-time class. It's a continuing class. So when we use the mobile app, we're going to use maybe one aspect of the mobile app and get comfortable with it. Okay? That's the way I teach. I don't go fast like the webinars do in RPR. How many people have taken the webinars? And you find them fast? Right? Well, they're always in a hurry to get to nowhere, but I'm not. So what we'll cover also is the customization of this app, finding properties info with FSBOs, distressed properties. You can find it all on your app. But again, use the technology to help the consumer. And where you're standing, for example, if you have your locator button on to your phone, whether you use an Android or a smartphone, I use an Android, I'm an Android guy, right? I have a locator button and I turn it on, and now with my mobile app, I'm able to start a conversation with the consumer, a simple conversation that when they ask me how real estate is, I look at my mobile app and I'm able to tell them how many foreclosures, how many sales, how many anything in this neighborhood, anything, all the properties are for sale, and I start a conversation with that. So maybe that's what you should start doing when you're out in the field, is start the conversation and have the information ready for you. Because I want to know, like if I'm dealing with an agent, I want to know how much that agent knows about this area, especially if I'm buying into the area. And if I'm buying into the area, I also want to know about my school district, and I also want to know about my neighborhood in general. So whether it's schools or neighborhoods, you can still produce the same information here on your mobile app that you would do at your desktop or as your tablet. So what I want you to do is if you have any questions during this class, I want you to throw them at me. Don't worry about the end. Throw them at me at the beginning. Because this is a hard class. This one's hard. Okay? So what you have to remember is that this is an exclusive access for you, the realtor. You have access to 166 million homes nationwide. So wherever you're vacationing, you can get a glimpse into their market. Whether you're in New York, whether you're in Arizona, whether you're in Florida, you have a glimpse into the market. What you don't have is access to the MLS. But you still have a glimpse into agents and how to contact agents. And that's the best part about the mobile app. So that if you're going to relocate somebody, and I know Century 21 has a relocation network, but if you're going to find an agent outside of the network, you can easily find them on your mobile app. So there's no consumer or public access. This is the part where I say, yay. This is the part where you shout, hooray. No? Not today? Oh, one is excited, the rest is sleeping? Okay. All right. No, this is the best part, is that the consumer does not have access to this information. So that's what we like about this app. So here's the mobile app and how it's designed and how it will appear to you on your phone. And you also have your AVMs and your RVMs that we said in the last class. The AVMs are your automated valuation model, and that brings together all the consumer, the convenient, all the public value into one space, including commercials, commercial property. The RVM is the public information, okay? The most reliable valuation product there in the RVM. And the AVM also brings in the MLS information, the closed, the expired, the sold, the foreclosure information comes from the RVM as well. And it's brought in together as one value. So now if you say, point to the house and it goes, well, wait a minute, that house is not worth $350, $400, it's worth $500, $550. What you have to do is integrate the MLS value, your MLS feeds, your MLS comparable sales, and you have to adjust the value on RPR. So we learned that in the desktop version. Now remember that in the desktop version, we had, this was our RPR for desktop. And that little wheel gave you access to upload your smartphone in your profile. So if you haven't done so already, you got to go to the tablet or to the desktop and you have to set up your profile. You can't do it from your phone, you have to do it from your desktop or your laptop or whatever you use. And you go to your profile and you set up a picture, right? You set up your picture, your logo. Your logo is already there because John put it up from RPR. He had the broker tool set, right? And you put that together, and now you have branding on all your reports. So what I want you to do is, if you haven't done already, is to sync your devices into the profile, because that will help you with the mobile app. All right, has everybody done that so far? No. Say yes, no?
No.
Okay, so that's your homework for tonight. Yes, this instructor gives homework as well. So now we'll move on to the app, and that is the symbol right there. Okay, that will be on your phone. If you're having error messages, it's because that you haven't synced the desktop to the laptop to the mobile device. It's all together. So if you're seeing error messages where you are, you're going to have to correct that through your laptop or desktop. Okay? So you'll see that little symbol there. You'll see your name of your branding up here. It says Century 21, Milestone, and RPR. And you'll have 3 windows to choose from as far as what you feel comfortable having on your mobile device. Yeah. So the first window that I like is this one. This is going to be your default window, they call it.
Yeah, everyone should be, excuse me, sorry, everyone should be on this right here.
So if you take out your mobile devices, but if it's not synced, you can't follow along with it. So you have to take notes. Okay?
We should be on.
Got it? You got it, right? So this is the window that you want to be on if you want that conversation starter. If you want to say to somebody, hey, listen, I have so many properties in this area for sale. I have so many properties that are new, some that's sold. How many distressed properties there are? There are always people as investors looking for distressed properties, no? So now you want to have a conversation with them, especially when they ask you about the market. How about this window here, giving the median sales price, the median asking price? Some people love statistics. I don't like statistics because you have to be a good interpreter of statistics in order to follow this one right here. And then this one goes into an intent search where you want to do schools and neighborhoods and zip codes. So it all depends on which one you're comfortable with. You have to decide, I can't. My favorite window is this window. And then I jump back and forth. But again, you're in the car, you can't do much while you're driving, and I don't expect you to text and drive. But if you ever have this experience, I don't know, you tell me, I've had the experience. I line up so many houses, right? And I'm driving, and the consumer is with me, because I always like to have a rapport with my consumer, right? And then the consumer points to a house and says, what about that one? And in the past, we would say, oh boy, I have to, call the office, I have to look it up. Now you can look it up on your mobile device, and you can give them information by just pulling over, plugging in the address, and now you have all the information. And if that information is a good match for the consumer, you can say, would you like to see it if I can get you in now? And from your mobile device, you'll be able to call the agent and make an appointment. If the agent is alive and well and able to, and wanting to make you show that house, right? All right, so here, this is the mobile default one. And if you want to change it, you hit the top right. And that becomes your default, or you switch it by just swiping it. And then you have another one, okay? And right above where your location is, you can adjust the properties that are within a certain mile from each other. So whether you do 1 mile or 2 miles, you can change this by just tapping onto it with that little wheel that looks like the profile wheel, and you get to this user settings. And once you're in the user settings, you can adjust how many miles you want for your searches by just taking your finger and sliding it across the way, or taking your finger that way to slide across the way to give you comparables older than 90 days. So you can go a year, you can go 30 days with this, you can go however way you want, and you don't have to